Hello and welcome to the SciFirst MovieTalk episode. So in this episode I am going to be doing something just a little bit different. Usually I would do my kind of haul or all my add-ons for my collection over the course of the last month. I did get something in the last month, a couple of DVDs and things, but I'm not going to show you those this time around. What I'm going to do is I actually saved up a bit of money, but yeah, I actually saved up some pennies to treat myself to something called an Evercade. Now, quite a few of you out there will actually know what one of these is. So I've had my eyes on one for quite some time, since I've seen them on YouTube. But basically what they are is a new game system that uses an old style kind of cartridge philosophy to kind of bring retro games, but not only just retro games, but kind of newish games, kind of up to the PlayStation 1 era. I suppose they are now retro, aren't they? I suppose, one way or the other. But kind of, yeah, bringing that kind of love for the kind of the retro, kind of the old wild, the old school gaming, and kind of bringing that back alive, shall we say. And to be quite fair, when the kind of first came out, I was kind of dubious as to whether or not they would kind of succeed or not, with regards to whether or not there was just enough people out there that wanted them. I mean, I wanted one, don't get me wrong. But to be fair, the games that are now available for it are actually quite expansive. The library of games that it has is actually quite immense, and spanning different consoles, different arcade systems. So yeah, and even then, that there are now new games, which is one of the reasons what I wanted it for, more so than anything else, for some of the homebrew games that you can get for like the NES and for the SNES and things like that, but they are now available on the Evercade. So the Evercade system started off as a handheld, from what I can gather. I haven't got the handheld system. What I have got is the Evercade VS. So the VS is the more sort of desktop version, shall we say, but to be fair, the only thing missing between this and the portability of the handheld is the fact that the handheld has a screen. This is a diddy little machine. So it's kind of going to be a bit of an unboxing come haul video, come a bit of a test. I haven't tested this out. I actually got this second hand. I didn't actually pay for it brand new. There's a reason for that, and the reason is I got like such an absolutely brilliant deal. Brand new, I think these are about 80 to 90 pounds, something like that. And the games alone can kind of rush you between 10 and 20, depending on what the games are, from what I've seen. So in the listing that I found, for whatever reason, they only listed the console. So the Evercade VS console, they didn't actually list the fact, so not in the title, that there was another 11, I think 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 7, 8, yeah, 11 volumes of games with it. So overall, I think I paid 160 for it, with postage. And I think ultimately it was just an absolute bargain that I couldn't leave and let go. I wasn't going to buy one just now. I actually have to pay back a little bit more money, but nonetheless, I didn't actually save entirely the amount that I needed. But you know, so yes, so a console, an old style way of playing video games. So this is the Evercade VS. It is a tabletop version. It's got 4 USB ports for 4 controls. It comes with 2. One of the nice things is, I was going to do it as an unboxing, but I couldn't help myself. I did actually have to open it, and I was pleasantly surprised. This machine is brand new. I don't think anybody's actually played it. I don't know why they've been selling it, and they didn't really let me know that one in the auction. But nonetheless, it is literally brand new. The only thing missing is the cellophane. Everything is just in A1 100% condition. It really is, inside, until I drop it all over the floor in a minute. That's the one thing I'm worried about. So yeah, I mean, it says about 260 more games available. Each cartridge that it operates on, very small little cartridges, they do house between anything from like 2 to 20 odd games. So you do get an absolute value for money if you're into that kind of retro gaming scene. And like I said, it's not just retro games either. There are quite a few more modern games done in a retro style that have been fitted out for the machine, and I'm really excited to kind of find out and play a few with those. It's like I said, it's one of the reasons why I've actually got the machine in the first place, to kind of support that kind of homebrew kind of market. So yeah, so Evercade, so 2 controllers. The only one things, or the one thing, not the one things, but the things that are missing out the box are the power source. It has a USB cable, so you can actually plug it into a power source, but it doesn't actually have a power source of its own. So as a plug, we're going to have to put one of those in. Not only that, it doesn't have a HDMI cable. But do you know what? You get those things with every packet of cornflakes, don't you, these days? So it the 10 a penny, so I can understand why they haven't included them. It's a bit of a pain if you don't have them hanging around, perhaps, but nonetheless, they are not included in the box. But it does include, in this instance, 2 actual titles that to get you started right out the box, which I think is fantastic too. So that's that version. So they do have another version of the console, which is another handheld, which is the Evercade EXP, I believe that's the name, which is like an upgraded version of the original handheld Evercade. So the EXP, I think that can output to a TV, so it's kind of in the middle between the tabletop and the handheld, being a handheld as well, but nonetheless, yeah, so it can output 720p, I think it is, or, yeah, p for HD signal. This is 1080p for the HDMI signal, so yeah, slightly little bit of quality, which is again why I've kind of gone for that one and not got the EXP version, even though that would kind of let me do it as a handheld, so on and so forth. But do you know what? I keep holding this box up, do you know? It is so light, and the machine inside is pretty tiny, so therefore, yeah, you can take this anywhere. That's one of the beauty of it. And it also has, we turn it around, we'll get it out in a minute. But yeah, so it also has space, if you can actually see that there, space for 2 cartridges. So therefore, even if you didn't want to take all the boxes with you away with you, you can take 2 cartridges and have just a full selection of games at your fingertips. That's what I'm trying to say, a full selection of games at your fingertips. So yeah, so it does that. So it's also got HDMI support, like I said. It's got Wi-Fi to have firmware upgrades, and I believe maybe game downloads. I'm not sure about that one. We're not going to hook this up to the Wi-Fi here today, but we are going to give it a bit of a test spin, which is why the screen's a little bit odd, because I'm going to change over in a bit and then go to the game. But I do believe I've forgot my power pack, so therefore we'll have to put that together in a minute. But nonetheless, yeah, so that's that. What else have we got? So I think that's just what we've got on the box. Up to 4 players. Quite a lot of the games that I've seen, though, maybe 2 tops. Quite a lot of the older retro games, it's 2 players, but not simultaneously either. So there's a bit of a thing there, but there should be enough going off, I think, in the collection. But yeah, so it's just a fun way of bringing retro gaming back alive. You know, that old school kind of gaming feel and cartridges. I mean, obviously they could just put them on SD cards. You could just downloaded these things, but that's not the point with this. And I think they have done a really kind of smart kind of way of doing it, certainly for the collector. And we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, I think they've really homed in on the collector, to be quite fair, and I love what they've done. I really do love what they've done. Kind of speaks to my OCD quite a bit. We'll get to that. So let's see what's in the box. I'm going to do it carefully because I can't. If I do it over the camera, it's going to go all over the floor. So just in the middle, just a plain red box with the diagram of the machine on the top there. Nothing of any great shakes because it was only a slip sleeve that was there anyway. I haven't got the space. I'm knocking everything over. Right. So I've got the instructions. I ain't reading them. Nah. I'll probably need them later, but I won't. No. So there's some instructions. I'm that kind of typical bloke, yeah. Never get the instructions, never read the instructions. What else have we got? So this is the machine itself, if I can actually get it out of the thing. There we go. So look how small that actually is. I mean, it literally fits in my hand. I've heard a few people say about the weight and everything. I mean, obviously, some of the older consoles, they're almost like as big as a house, aren't they, you know? But this isn't. This is nice and light. And I think, overall, for what it was trying to achieve, that does the job. You're probably going to knock it off the telly if you're not quite careful with it, off the sideboard. But I do believe the controls, they have a 3-meter lead on them. So you get enough, you know? You should be all right. And they're not motion sensitive like the Wii, so hopefully you shouldn't be knocking these things off. But yeah, it is light, so I think that's a consideration to take into account when you're kind of playing these games. But otherwise, yeah, so in there you've got your 2 cartridge slots. Pretty cool. So like I said, you can hold them and keep the cartridges there. So up to 2 cartridges that you can keep actually in the machine at any one point in time. So you've got your 4 USB slots for the controllers there, and as far as I'm aware, you don't just have to use the ones that came with the machine. I think it's pretty compatible with quite a lot of other versions of them. I don't know which, so don't hold me to which controllers, but I know that it is compatible with a whole series of other controls. Probably things like the Switch ones. They're pretty universal for PC and things like that. So yeah, I would imagine so. Then on the back, we have the HDMI slot. Yep, the HDMI slot, a reset button more than likely, and the USB power cable. I mean, these days, that's all you're going to get, isn't it? You're not going to get much of anything else to do anything else. That's the thing. Let's turn that around a bit. So that's it. In a nutshell, there is the Evercade VS. It is a smart-looking piece of kit, I think. I think there's been quite a bit of attention drawn to how ergonomic. But anyway, how the aesthetics of it actually do look and feel. It looks retro. It looks classic, you know, and I can't argue with that. So yeah, there we go. The Evercade VS in all of its glory. We shall take that for a spin in a minute. Let's put it somewhere it's not going to fall over. If you hear a loud bang, I'm not, and don't end this video, that's where it's gone. So that's that. So we'll get round to the games in a minute that you get with it. If we can get these out. So I'll only get the one. There's wires out. It don't matter. If you get two wires together, they tangle. That is it. Don't matter. Right. So you don't want to see the other cables. It is just a USB-C cable. And then I'm just making a right mess. So yeah, so there we go with the controls. That is a decent sized controller. It's almost as big as the machine itself. But I can see myself holding that pretty well. I mean, it's a boxy controller. I don't care for the box ones myself personally. I do find them a little bit hard to hold. But that's just me personally, just because of the way everything, my hands just claw up, I can't do it. So I probably will end up using other controllers, to be quite fair. But they do look pretty smart, I must admit. They do look like a cross between the NES and kind of the SNES controllers of old. And a little bit more like the Master System as well. I can't grumble with that. That looks like a nice smart controller, to be quite fair. And as I say, you get a 3-meter lead. I'm nearly be able to play this across the room. So yeah, pulling the machine off probably isn't going to be a problem if you just sit enough that you've got enough flex on your cable, you know. So yeah, you've got the usual buttons. We've actually got more arcade style buttons as well for those. So they've actually put some thought into the different styles of games that's actually going to use this. I mean, obviously, quite a lot of the older NES style games, you're just going to be using A and B, aren't you? But nonetheless, quite a lot of the newer games, certainly for the PlayStation 1, you're going to be using those other buttons. So yeah, they've put some careful thought into how that is going to operate for future games. So future-proofing it out a little bit, you know? So yeah, there's the Evercade VS controller, the original one that came with the machine. So that's pretty cool looking, I think. Very retro, very retro. It does exactly what it says on the tin, doesn't it? So that's brilliant. That's exactly what you need. So with the actual VS pack that I got, originally you would have got 2 free games. So in essence, I actually got 13 sets of games. So I am not going to go through every single game I've got for this. I'll do a collection video maybe in a year or two. What I'm going to do is just show you the collections that we have. And then we'll kind of plug it in and see if it actually works. That's what I'm really kind of interested in anyway, for now anyway. So we actually got 2 arcade packs. So we've got the Technos Arcade 1 and the Data East Arcade 1. Some of these I can't actually say, but Data East I can. So the Data East Arcade 1 and the Technos Arcade 1. So they actually came with it. So you get 10 games on Data East and 8 games on Technos. So you got, you know, lots of class. I mean, some of them I don't actually know, to be quite fair. I will do. I can't see them. It's a bit dark. But these are based on arcade systems. So that's the other one good thing. To actually emulate an arcade system is quite difficult because they were never built the same. They all use different protocols and different chipsets and things like that. So therefore, to actually emulate them is actually a little bit more difficult than I first thought it would be. I've tried. I can't remember the software that I downloaded, but it is more difficult than I thought. This just makes it so easy. This just makes it absolutely a breeze to actually run and you work on and play some of these really old classic kind of arcade games. So yeah, so these came with it. So that's that. So if we take the Data East one, okay, oh dear me, yep, take the Data East one. You can see, look, they have these real smart looking cartridges. I mean, they're very light, very small, more like the Game Boy cartridges. They're about that size, I would say. Yeah, and I just think they're brilliant in that sense. So them two, as I say, they were freebies, if you like. They came with the machine in that sense. What I do like, however, so these are what we call the Evercade arcade packs. The spines, they're numbered. I love it. I love it. That just speaks to my OCD full stop. a collection is a collection if you can number it and actually look at them. I mean, they look smart side by side, just as they are 1 and 2. But when I put them with number 6, which I also got, so these are part of the 11 extra ones that I got. So this is Gelico Arcade Collection 2 and Gelico Arcade Collection 1. So again, you can see there you've got 6 games, 8 games on those. So again, another full set of different games to actually work out. So these are the arcade collections. But what I wanted to say and show, if I get them actually the right way around, I know cameras are backwards sometimes. Look at that. How smart is that? So yeah, numbered, you know what part of your collection's missing, you know where you're going, and you know where you're going to. I love it. I absolutely love it. I like that idea. And they've really kind of spoke to the way things work. So these are the arcade ones. These are in purple containers. Again, thought about that. So, oh, yeah, just blob down there. So going a bit further on than that, I also got, as I say, some ones that are kind of based on other kind of systems, other computer systems. So we'll go through them. You got like the Atari Lynx, the old Atari, the Commodore 64. What else have we got? We'll see as we're going through anyway. So the first one, and I'm going to do this in numerical order because I should. I haven't got. I mean, this is number 12, so this is where we start this part of the collection, which kind of, I need 1 to 11 now. But yeah, so we've got the Evercade, we've got the Oliver Twins collection. Now this is going to be a personal favourite. I absolutely love Dizzy, which is the egg guy here, when I was younger. On the ZX Spectrum, it was absolutely perfect. I could never play half the games, because you get so far and you just didn't know how to get to the next part. But yeah, Dizzy. What an icon, a retro icon. And on this, there are no less than 11 games, including one new one, at least of the series, which is Dreamworld Pogie. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from here. There, that one there, yeah, go that way. That one, yep. So Dreamworld Pogie. Apologies for the fingertips, I have psoriasis under the nails, so it looks worse than it is. But yeah, so Dreamworld Pogie is a brand new one, this is what I wanted it for, to play those. So that's that. So the Oliver Twins collection, what an absolutely amazing set that is. And again, just look at the doody little cartridge, and each come with a little pack of instructions as well. Again, we'll be reading them, but nonetheless, but each come with those little pack of instructions. So that was number 12 in their collection. Number 13 in their collection is the Atari Lynx collection 1. So I got that one as well. So 17 games on that one, which again, can't argue with that. Never had an Atari Lynx, so it'll be interesting to see what some of those games are, and see where we go with those ones. What we got? We got collection number 15, which is the Gelico collection 1. I've got a couple of these on the NES. Totally Rad, I think, is one of the games. Yep, Totally Rad. There. Oh, I can never work it out with the camera. Totally Rad, there you go. Definitely got that one on the NES. I haven't played it yet, so we can see what the two versions are like. That'd be quite cool. So, yep, Gelico Collection 1, which has got 10 classic games on it. Pretty good, decent. And then we have the number 17, which is Indie Heroes. This is the start. This is what I wanted. So, Indie Heroes Collection 1, which has got a whole heap of new classic games, brand new ones, never been played before. Now they have, but they're new. So these aren't retro games in essence. They are made for the retro systems, but in modern times. So I am definitely looking forward to checking those out, just because I've never done that before. So, yep, number 17. Personal classic of mine, number 18, Worms. So this is what I'm saying, so varied, because this is where your PlayStation 1 era comes in. So, Worms Collection 1, yep, so you got 3 there, 3 classic Worms games, Worms and Armageddon. Absolutely, and Worms World, can't see that in that light, anyway. World Blast, that's it, I think it was called, yeah, Worms World Blast. So, Worms Collection 1, which is, as I say, number 18. Then I have number 19, which is the Codemasters Collection. Cannon Fodder. What an icon. Cannon Fodder. Loved it. So yeah, they made some brilliant games, did Codemasters, back in the day. You knew you got quality if you had a Codemasters stamp on that game, and there it is. There it is for the Evercade. So yeah, Cannon Fodder, definitely one of my personal favourites. It was 17 games on there again. I wish I could see some of these better in this light, to be honest with you. But we'll go through it another time, I think. It would be interesting to actually go through each of these games in individual entities and just see what they're like a little bit, you know. And moreover, I'll be doing some gameplays as well, so no problem there. So yeah, 17 games. Number 21, I got Intellivision Collection 1. So these are more like the old Atari ones, the Atari 2600. So again, I have a couple of these for the Atari 2600. Again, it would be nice to see how they look in good old full HD, you know. So Intellivision Collection 1, another 12. Another 12, yep, another 12 on there. Then nearly to the end, but another couple of, what am I looking for? Homebrews. Yeah, another couple of more homebrew games. So we've got 25. Which is the Morphcat Collection number 1, or Morphcat Games Collection 1. Again, some more fantastic looking games. So three games included, plus 2 bonus, so 5 altogether, you know. So 2 bonus games. But yeah, absolutely spot on. And these are all just in so much, well, fantastic condition. As I said, there's no scratches, marks, anything on them. But yeah, so the last one I got was 27, which is, I can't even say this, Alwa's Awakening and Cathedral. So there's only 2 games on this one, but again, they're more homebrew, if you like, or indie, if you like, homebrew, indie, whichever one you want to go with, but 2 on there, and that was just to finish that off. So again, definitely looking forward to checking those 2 out. So, what an amazing set. I mean, I can't argue with that. I don't know if I can show all of that in one go. I think I've put them back, probably in backwards order, but... So that was the arcade ones at the beginning, and these are the more system-based ones. So don't they look just absolutely... Well, if they were all nice and straight, I don't even like that. But if they were nice and straight, they would look absolutely smart on the shelf. You know what I mean? They really do. And I just like the fact that there's been some thought put in to how that is actually going to appear on somebody's shelf. And actually, quite a lot of us, I'm sure, being collectors as we are, it is a collection. That's the way that is, and that's the way that looks. You have to collect, you know, and I just love that about it. Absolutely love that. So what we'll do, I'm going to have to stop the video and then spice it a little bit. It was not my intention to do that, but I haven't got a power cable, so I'm going to have to go hunt for one. I will actually switch it on, however, on camera, so therefore, the very first time that we try this out to see if it actually works, will be on camera. And do you know what? I'm going to try the Oliver Twins ones. I'm going to put Dizzy on and just have a look and see. We're not going to spend long on it, but let's actually see if it works. It is second-hand. Everything so far smacks that it is brand new, you know, never really been used. But you never know, do you? So let's have a look and see. Bear with me just for a second. Right, so, managed to find a power socket. The worst thing was actually trying to find one that was close enough to where I am. It was a bit difficult to try and scram it all in. Maybe you need a longer power cord, but nonetheless. It is plugged in. I have not tried it at all. I haven't even plugged the controller in or put the game in. So, controller, unwound. Let's plug that in, see what happens. One of the things is I think you need a 5-volt supply. Whether or not I've got that or not, I don't know. I'm using an Amazon connector for like an Amazon Fire. So, controller's in. Grab my Oliver Twins. That's what I want. We'll have a look at Dizzy, see what happens. Just dropped it on the floor, which is not a good idea. Right. Right. So, I was going to try and show you it, but there you go. Oliver Twins collection again. Little cartridge. Let's make sure I actually get it the right way in, which is... In fact, there's a little guide on it. So you can actually only put it in the one way, which is actually quite a nice little ingenious. It actually really does fit in quite snug. I like that. Right. There doesn't seem to be any kind of light. or anything like that to say whether or not it's on or not, which is probably a bit of a downfall, unless there is supposed to be a light and I don't have enough power. So let's go and have a look. So yes, I don't have any signal that way on. I don't have any signal that way on. But the question is, like I say, whether or not I've even got enough. Oh, hang on. Right. I had to hold the button in. Should have read them instructions, shouldn't I? Yes, there you go. There is a light on the front, by the way. This is going to go horribly wrong. Yes, this is going to go horribly wrong. I'll tell you what I can do. No, I can't, no. Anyway, I can't show the light on the front as it stands. Oh, yes, look at this. So, BMX, Dizzy, the Adventurer. Oh, I like it. Oh, yes. Go, Dizzy, go. The Fantastic Adventures of Disney. Treasure Island Disney. Yes. Panic Dizzy. Let's have a go, Panic Dizzy. This is when it doesn't load. No, here we are. We are here. This was half the problem. It's a start button. Okay. What on earth? Panic, yeah, I am panicking. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to be doing. I've had enough of this already. But that's only because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, dearie me. I've got to... No, I'll just put it back on again. Do you know what? Apart from having to know what buttons do what, the controls are pretty standard. Let's try that. Dizzy the Adventurer. Absolutely brilliant, you're telling me. Codemasters, you see, I told you. Right.
Let's play Dizzy.
Yeah, look at this. A match, holding nothing. Oh, bro. Tell you what, I bet you have to burn this. No. 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 A bucket of water. Something tells me we're going to have to set... Oh, I don't know. We'll have to learn the controls. I'll have to look at the instructions. The main thing is, it works. That's the idea. So I was never actually going to play any game in this episode. It was just to show you it, explain a little bit about it that I kind of picked up as I'm going along. I'm sure there is much more that somebody more involved with the production of this or anything can actually tell you. I mean, I've only just got it, you know? So it's only what I've read about and heard about. I've kind of tried to disseminate from my perspective. But what a fantastic little machine. I'm going to love sort of sketches. It can go to work with me, it's that small. You know what I mean? I can play it on a dinner hour. Unlike any other console, it takes literally no prep time whatsoever. It is just on like that. So it can go on holidays, days out, that kind of thing. Yeah, it doesn't have a screen, but as long as you're in a hotel or something, just bung it in the telly and off you go. So yeah, what a fantastic little device. And hundreds of games already to kind of put through it. So I can't argue with that. So, I think I'm going to leave it there though, and then get cracking. I can't wait to get playing with it. So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, my introduction to the Evercade VS. If you have, please do leave a like, please do hit that subscribe button for more reviews, show reactions and other movie related content. Absolutely loved having you at SciFirst Movie Talk, definitely love to have you back. Most of all, just thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.